I was going to try to pretend to adjust this, but I'm too afraid, so let's just hope it works. Hi, I'm Aubrey. And one thing I've noticed as I'm sort of getting older is I've become more and more impatient with stuff. Like when I was a kid, I was really laid back, I was really patient, and just didn't give a shit. I walked late, I talked late, I hated eggplant, so if it was on the plate, like I could sit there not eating it all night long, you know? But now I'm getting older and I start to realize like I'm getting really impatient, but about nothing. Like, to preface, I'm single and I'm lazy. So after work, like, I don't have to be anywhere, you know? But when I drive home, it's like I'm in this really, like, intense, vicious game of Mario Kart. And I'm, like, swerving around people and, like, honking my horn and, like, throwing mushrooms, you know? Like, I'm just, like, you know? And I notice, like, if I'm in the bathroom and there's, like, an automatic hand dryer, I give it, like, a second of attention. And then I'm like, oh, God. I'm going back to my tacos. Like, I don't have to go. But I'm like, there's no time, you know? And I know it's like, God forbid on the internet, like something has to buffer. Like, I'm already in network diagnostics being like, oh, why is the internet broken, you know? It's like really bad. And I'm getting worried about it, like, it's just gonna get worse. And like, and yet, like, I wanna have a child someday, but pregnancy, that's a 9-month commitment, you know? That's like 9 months without smoking, 9 months without drinking, 9 months with something growing inside of you, eating half of your food. And then, at the end of it, there's like 20 hours of labor. And, like, what? That is so fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm bringing a machete in my hospital bag, and if it takes more than an hour, I'm just gonna cut it out. You know, like, I don't have the patience. It's bad, it's bad. But I am impatient. Like, I'm impatient to get older. I'm really excited about being able to wear shoes with orthopedic support. And I'm excited because I just, like, I want a reason to be the way I am. Like, I feel like being old would justify the fact that I'm already basically an old person. Like, I get tired at 7. Like, I pay attention to my fiber intake. And of course, I'm afraid of colored people, so. As I get older, I start to worry about the legacy that I'm going to leave for my future generations, for my descendants. Like, we're not a very impressive people, those of us in our 20s. And I think, like, I compare myself to my mother. You know, she came of age in, like, the 60s and 70s, like, this sort of hippie, beatnik, free love expression thing. And I find myself, like, kind of trying to defend my group against her, and I just sound like an idiot. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, like, you guys, you invented beat poetry, but we invented sexting, so. You know, like, yeah, I know you guys were, like, experimenting with mind-altering drugs, but we have mind-altering drugs prescribed to us. You know? Oh, congratulations on, you know, inventing, like, sexual freedom, but we have internet porn, so. And online pedophilia. But no, I'm excited, and I feel like I'm justified in saying all this because I just found out that I'm not part of like the hip, like in generation of people. Like I'm Generation Y. I don't know if there are any Generation Y people here. Don't you shake your head at me. No, Generation Y. That's my group. And then according to an article I just read, like there's a new generation, and it's Generation Z. Or the net generation. So apparently these are like the new babies being born who like already know the computer lingo. They're like, boop, LOL, you know, like they already speak it, you know. And I'm not part of that anymore. But this article that I read had this sort of like chilling, upsetting statistic about young people these days and how we're all going to hell, you know, in a handbasket. And the article included this line that was talking about how you know, teenagers these days would rather live in an alternate reality than in the real world. I thought, duh, like, doesn't everyone want to live in an alternate reality? Like, the real world is really shitty. There's, like, bills, there's wars, there's, like, a lot of seasons of The Mentalist, like, So, and you know, it's like, okay, so now this is something that's new, like, tell that to my Dawson's Creek poster, or my grandmother's Valium addiction. Like, this is something that's always been happening, you know? And I realized, like, I'm not, like, in touch with what the youth are doing to escape. Like, I don't have Farmville, or Second Life, or, like, whatever, you know, wasn't naked online at 13, so I feel like I don't really get it. But like, there's some things that the things that I treasured when I was a child as like methods of escapism, like they're still popular, and I find that like very comforting as I become sort of elderly and obscure. I'm 24, by the way. As I sort of fade into obscurity, like it's comforting to know that like my favorite things were there from the dawn of time, and they'll be there till the end of time. You know, Harlequin romance novels, masturbation, and LSD. Thank you.